Paano po kaya kung hindi nabuhay muli si Kristo? Anong mangyayari sa atin? What if Christ was not resurrected? What will happen to us? What will be the point of this gathering? That's why St. Paul was so clear about it at the last portion of the first reading. He said, kahabag-habag, kung hindi talaga nabuhay muli si Kristo at pinaniwalaan natin. How pity we are if Christ has not been resurrected from the dead. And if that's the case, then how is the resurrection of Christ truly affecting and shaping our lives? Paano po tunay na nagbibigay epekto at humuhulma ang pagkabuhay muli ni Kristo sa ating buhay? Affected po ba tunay tayo sa kaniyang muling pagkabuhay? Ano po ang kahulugan nun sa atin? Now, in order for us to understand this, I would like to tell you or give you a bit of a background of the story of the Korean martyrs. Particularly, itong grupo nila Andrew Kim Dae-gon. Alam niyo po ba na nakapunta si Andrew Kim Dae-gon sa Pilipinas? Saan nga yun? Sa Bulacan ba yun? Oh, ayun. Nandun po siya nag-aral ng katekism. Maikli lang na panahon, pero doon po talaga kasi siya sa Macau nag-aral. Pero napabisita siya dito. Nag-observe. Ano ba ang Kristyanismo dito sa bansang Pilipinas? Kaya may shrine siya doon sa Bulacan. Bakit po napakahalaga na ating malaman ang kanilang kwento? I'm very fascinated with this. Why? I'll tell you. The beginning of Catholicism, therefore Christianity in Korea, is not through missionaries. Hindi po mga misyonero ang una nagdala ng Kristyanismo sa Korea. Mga traders, rather merchants, mga nagbebenta ng mga kung ano-ano, na mga made in China. See? Nung una pang panahon, may mga ganun na pala. Magdadala ng mga produkto made in China, dadalhin sa Korea. Pero at that time, ang nagdadala mga Chinese. At kasama ng kanilang pagdala ng mga produkto nila, mga libro tungkol sa Kristyanismo at Katolisismo. You need to understand that whatever unique is something appealing, right? So, ngayon, itong mga merchants na ito, ang iba sa kanila, converted na sa Kristyanismo, they would share yung literature, yung libro, no? Isa sa mga famous na mga writer na dinala nila, si Matteo Ricci, isang Jesuita, no? Na misyonero sa China. So dinala nila pati yung mga writings ni Matteo Ricci. At bakit sila na-attract, nagustuhan nila yung mga writings na yun? Dahil iba sa kanilang filosofiya o sa kanilang pananaw. Dahil nung unang panahon, katulad din naman po nung panahon na bago dumating ang mga Kastila dito sa Pilipinas, may may hierarchy na po sila sa kanilang lipunan, no? Social stratification. Dito sa Pilipinas, yung social stratification natin bago dumating ang mga Kastila, meron tayong mga Maginoo, yun po yung pinakamataas na estado, and then Maharlika, then Timawa at mga alipin. Alipin stay in at alipin stay out. Oh, uso na pala yun nung una pang panahon. Aliping namamahay, stay in, at aliping sa gigilid, stay out. No? Similarly sa Korea, meron din ganun. So they have the nobles, and they have the common people, and they have slaves. Now, nung nagkakaroon na ng trading, nagtitinda na ang mga merchants, so, siyempre habang nagtitinda sila, nagbibigay din sila ng, alam nyo, meron kaming bagong pananampalatayang natutunan. No? Anong relihiyon mo? Anong pinanampalatayanan mo? Siyempre, maingat sila kasi hindi pa tanggap yung pananampalataya nila. Bakit hindi tanggap? Dahil radikal ang turo ng Kristyanismo. Dahil sa turo ng Kristyanismo, wala nang pagkakaiba, pantay-pantay na ang lahat. Wala nang noble, wala nang slave, pantay-pantay na sa mata ng Diyos. There is no more noble as in contrast to slaves. We are all equal in the sight of God. That is very new teaching. And so they got attracted to that kind of teaching. Why? At that time, the Koreans, during that time, they saw the oppression of the nobles. Manood po kayo ng historical Korean drama, malalaman niyo po yung hindi pagkakapantay-pantay ng mga matataas na ranggo sa mga alipin. Accurate portrayal po yun. Yung love story part lang yung parang OA. And it has to be that way for people to watch it. No? They'll get attracted to that. But the historical reality during that time is really accurate. There's really differences. The rich became richer, the poor became poorer. At nung nakita nila ang turo na ito, ano daw? Pantay-pantay na ang lahat. We want to embrace this religion. What is this religion? Ay, kaya lang, yun lang sabi sa amin eh. And so they have to wait for several years para makapasok ang mga misyonero. Kaya lang hindi nagtatagal. Guess what happened to them after several years? When they entered Korea, guess what happened to the missionaries after several years or even months? Yes, they got martyred. Pinupugutan ang ulo. Hanged. Pinapatay. And so, hindi nakakaabot sa mga bundok ang mga misyonero. Doon pa lang sa dalampasigan, nahuli na. Paano yun? And so the Korean Christians who got converted got very frustrated. How can we do this? We want to spread the Christian faith to the far-flung areas. Paano natin to gagawin? And so sabi nila, tayo na lang ang magiging pari. At marami sila pumunta sa Macau at sa Pilipinas para mag-aral. At ang unang naordenahan na pari, guess what's the name? Andrew Kim Daegon. Sayang lang, may pelikula na na-release 3 years ago, I think. Hinanap ko ng hinanap, hindi ko mahanap. So, I don't know what happened with that because that would be a very interesting watch. No? Because the faces, the stars there are very familiar to those who are watching Korean movies or something like that. But you see, they've decided, Dahil pinapatay nila yung mga misyonero ng mga banyaga, tayo na lang ang magiging pari. Kasi mas iba yung treatment sa kanila because they're locals. And then eventually, Andrew Kim Dae-gon and his companions, ayun, pumunta, nag-aral sa Macau at Pilipinas, and then nakabalik. And they spread Christianity to the Korean nation. But eventually, hindi makokontento yung gobyerno nila. Sasabihin ng kanilang gobyerno, this faith, this belief, this philosophy is a threat. We need to suppress them. And then eventually, they will face martyrdom. And we ask the question, paanong nakaya nila itong ibigay ang kanilang buhay? Why would these martyrs be able to have the motivation to give their lives for this teaching, for this belief? Bakit po kaya kakayanin nila? Precisely what we heard in our first reading. Because the resurrection is everything. It's everything. At kung hindi pa po natin nauunawaan yon at hindi po natin nayayakap yon, kapatid, malnourished po ang ating pananampalataya. Resurrection for us is everything. Why? Katulad ng mga martyrs, sabi nila, oo, maghihirap kami ngayon, oo, mamamatay kami ngayon, ngunit naniniwala kami na bubuhay muli kami pagdating ng tamang panahon. And so they hold on to that faith. Naniniwala po ba tayo ng ganun? May pananampalataya po ba tayong ganun? Na kahit na maghirap tayo ngayon, kahit na hindi tayo okay, kahit na may pinagdaraanan tayong pagsubok, sinasabi natin, okay lang kasi sa dulo, bubuhayin ako muli ni Kristo. I will receive resurrection in the end. But you see, here's the good news, my friends. Hindi lang sa dulo natin makikita ang resurrection. Now is the resurrection. Dahil patuloy na ngayon na binubuhay tayo ng Diyos dahan-dahan. Hindi man niya minsan pinapagaling ang ating arthritis. Hindi man niya pinapagaling minsan o tinatanggal ang ating mga kolesterol. Sana naihi na lang natin yung kolesterol para makakain tayo muli ng lechon. Pero hindi nangyayari. Kahit na hindi man yun nangyayari, you know what's happening? Interiorly, sa kalooban natin, binabago na tayo ng Diyos. And so the completion of our resurrection is really just so near now. Are we holding on to that? For us, consecrated people, brothers and sisters, nagpa-practice na kami ng resurrection. We already practice resurrection. Do you know that? Now is the resurrection. Because why? We are saying we don't need spouses anymore. We don't need to get married. Because we can practice living heaven now. This is heaven now for us. We are as if we are playing a role play. That we are embracing heaven now. And so we don't need possession. We don't need wives. We don't need husbands because we are living heaven now. Resurrection is now for us. And that would be everything for us. Consecrated people. You see, if in the end, resurrection is just a philosophy, resurrection is just another invention of humanity, pity, Father Glenn. Kawawa naman ako. Ibinigay ko yung buong buhay ko nito. Wala na, hindi ako masusundan. Hindi ko makukontinue yung lahi namin. Sayang, kung hindi naman pala totoo yung resurrection. You see? And so for us Christians, we have to always remember, my brothers and sisters, it's resurrection or nothing. Either we truly believe in the resurrection or nothing. That's the options for us. And if we truly believe in the resurrection, then we claim that God continues to renew His people. And for some of us, if the invitation is to offer our very selves, white martyrdom for us consecrated people, then we offer it because we know it's all worth it. And may our belief in the resurrection truly take root in the depths of our hearts. And we can be boastful of one thing, that our God is the God of the living, not of the dead. Amen.